It's Friday night, and that means one thing. It's time now for the best in paranormal programming. This is the Paranormal 60 News Paranormal Gone Wild edition. Thank you for joining me at time for the Paranormal News. The Colonel has this week off. It is his birthday, and I thought it only fitting that at such an advanced age, the man should get a little time to himself. So the Colonel has his first week off. But ladies and gentlemen, joining us all the way from the Texas Station newsroom, the paranormal detective, Greg Lawson. Hello,
yes,
Greg.
I am. Hi, Dave. Good to see you on this fine Friday.
Good to see you too, my friend. And ladies and gentlemen, help me as we call forth Chachi. And like Bloody Mary, he appeared.
Hey, that is quite a newsroom shirt you have there, Greg.
Thanks. Yeah, I picked that out. I just, I was back in the wardrobe, and I was like, hey, I need something a little newsworthy.
And like an 8th grade math teacher had just hung it up, and you thought I could wear that for the news.
It.
Yeah, gotta set an example.
Hey, I want to mention something about Monday night's show. For people watching it, we had a weird thing. Now, listen, guys, I'm not one to automatically point the finger at the demonic realm when weird things happen, but we were doing a show all about sinister supernatural encounters. And my second guest for the evening, Melody Knapp, was on talking about a very powerful experience she had when suddenly I was booted out. She was booted out, but StreamYard continued to go. And then my internet completely shut down. Now, my internet is one company. My phone is another company. So I'm like, all right, I can't get back in. Winnie is up there rebooting the internet, doing everything she can to get us back online. Nothing's working. So I'm going to go in through my phone. I have a brand new Samsung 22 plus magic stick, whatever. I don't know. It's like supposed to be the best of the best. Yeah. And I have 5G. I couldn't get online. It didn't even give me 4G. There was no G's. It was flatlining.
What up, G?
I couldn't get on. So I'm like, what is happening here? I finally get, it goes to 4G in one bar. I connect for a second to hit end. And that's all I could do to end the actual episode. So that's weird. Okay, but technology fails. The internet goes down from time to time. There's been weird storms all over. Maybe that has affected it. But that it threw both of us out at the same time and put her in the green room and threw me completely out is weird. Because as you guys know, if I'm here and then just vanish, the show continues with you guys.
Sure.
So that's the way it works. Well, here's the really strange follow-up. So Tuesday night, I'm supposed to go on Brittany Barbieri's show. And we're going to do our program. She's going to have me as her guest. And 20 minutes before show, she loses her internet, then loses her power, and then calls me from her phone, which is now all of a sudden at 10%, to tell me we can't go on. I can't get a connection. So very weird. It's just the timing of it.
It's a deal.
Yeah. Obviously.
Well, in Texas right now, I don't know if you've looked at the news, but about half the state's on fire right now. So yeah.
No.
We got a lot of fires going on right now.
It's terrible.
Yep.
It's brutal when you see that kind of footage. I don't know if you guys saw that footage from California a few years ago where it looked like an apocalyptic movie.
Sure.
The guy comes out from underneath the bridge, the mountain bridge. He comes out and the entire vista is raging infernos. Fire. Trees are falling. That was terrifying. It looked like a movie special effect. But I pity the people that are in these places where these fires are raging. I know when we filmed the TV show The Ghosts of Devil's Perch, which will be airing here starting August 21st on Travel Channel and simultaneously on Discovery Plus.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody's telling me you're going to love Butte. The skies are gorgeous, big sky country, blah, blah, blah. We couldn't enjoy most of it because we were circled by fires all around Butte. So we were unable to get the true vistas. I think literally there for 3 months, I think I saw blue skies 3 times.
It was all just smoke, and at night it would be that
soot.
Color.
Yeah. It was very weird. But it lends itself to the creep factor of the show and some things that tie into the past. So please check it out again, folks. In case you've been living in a cave and didn't know about this, I am on a new TV show. Cindy and I return this season, The Ghosts of Devil's Perch. KD Stafford joins us as well as our tech. He is the mad scientist of the paranormal. We premiere August 21st. They're dropping it on Travel Channel and Discovery on the same day. So if you've got Discovery Plus and Travel Channel, you can watch it on either one and enjoy the program. So go check that out for yourself. If you gave up your subscription to Discovery Plus waiting for Dave to return to TV, this is the time to go resubscribe and be a part of it. Guys, before we get into it, I got to tell you something. I don't know that this fits into the paranormal realm, but I kind of feel like it does. Let's talk about a movie, Cocoon.
Let's
do you remember
do it.
Cocoon
I love
from
Cocoon.
the 80s?
Yeah.
Early 80s, yeah.
Amazing
great movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Ahead of its time.
Steve Guttenberg, a cast of some classic Hollywood actors, Don Amici, Ralph Bellamy, Jessica Tandy, Maureen Stapleton. I think all these amazing No, he wasn't.
That wasn't
it.
No.
And Wilford Brimley. And all of a sudden, this thing popped up on my screen this week. This November, guys, I'm turning the double nickel, 55.
Wow.
Check this information. This is going to blow your mind. Are you ready for this? Ready?
Here we go.
When Cocoon reached theaters on June 21st, 1985, Wilford Brimley was 50 years old, 9 months and 6 days.
Oh my God. I would have thought he was 70.
I am 5 years older than Wilford Brimley when he was supposed to be in an old folks home in the movie Cocoon.
Yeah.
But tell me, honestly, guys, look at that picture. Do I look younger than Wilford Brimley?
You look like you moisturize.
You look like the guy on the left.
Yeah. Oh, the young kid. Yeah, I'll take that. Noah Hathaway, I think, or something like that was his name. Wow. Wilford, and then I'm crazy. Like, how old was Wilford? How is that possible? And he died just a handful of years ago, and he was like 80. And that was like in 2014 or 15 or something. Just not too far.
Diabetes.
Yeah, he had the diabetes. But does that not blow your mind? Wilford Brimley was 50 when he started the movie about being an old man.
Yeah. Wow. He's a good actor. He's a good actor. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
He was acting.
No, he's just a cantankerous old man.
I mean, I have this vision. I'm 28.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vision.
Yeah. And every once in a while, I'll catch. I see myself in the mirror. I'm like, hey, all right. And every once in a while, I'll catch myself out of the corner of my eye when the filter's not on or something. I'm like, who is that old dude? I'm 60.
In the cool newscaster shirt.
60 years old.
You look good.
Thanks.
I can't relate to either one of you, but
I've got my my V8 Bloody Mary going for tonight.
Is it really? Is it?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Got a little. What's that vodka you recommended to me, Eric? I just poured it.
Tito's.
Tito's. That is what it is. Tito's vodka and V8 juice. So we've got a lot of stories, a lot of things to cover tonight. That's not good to start with. A little dry. We've had like rain, massive storms here, and then all of a sudden it's 89 degrees, 95 degrees out, kicking up every dander in the sky. So I'm going to be a hacking mess.
Dave, before we get started, I've been thinking. If you're not watching the video, you're missing it. Hey, how was the Bigfoot?
How was the Bigfoot?
Oh my God! Right? Okay. First of all, everybody, you got to go to the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, Dave. It's temperate. It's
Pacific Northwest
year round, right? And I'm like, okay, I go 104 degrees to an outdoor event.
Yeah,
but
where it normally rains, so it's like 1,000,000 degrees.
But it's a dry heat.
Yeah, it's a
Tell
dry
that
heat.
to my sweat. Yeah, it was not a dry heat. But it was an amazing event, and I can't tell you guys how many people came out for the paranormal. I was sitting next to Jason Hawes and Sherry D. Benedetti, Sarah Lemos, myself, and our line was longer than the Bigfoot people, which was really, and in that heat, they were there at 10 a.m. They were there until we left at 5. And we got to do 2 talks, had a great first talk. We had a great turnout. It's in this kind of like band shell underneath. And then there were all these trees and people were sitting there in the sun. The second one at 4:00 in the afternoon, when the sun was now directly overhead, there was very little tree cover. We had like 8 people, but we had a good time. And the people there said how much they enjoy the news, how much they like you guys, our camaraderie, the fun that we have. Well, not you, Greg, but the rest of us, they really enjoy. No, they love it. They love watching the show. So thank you all for that. Let's get started.
You get to meet the actual Bigfoots that were in the commercials?
That would
no,
be
I didn't get to meet them.
Big
feet. Did
not.
But
but I did post a picture on my social media of me meeting Bigfoot. So there is a cool picture that's floating around out there. I could.
You're on social media?
Had I known you were going to take me into this vein, I would have pulled the picture up.
Oh, you're on social media?
Yeah. Just look for Rick from Pawn Stars, and you'll find it.
That's great.
All right, let's get started, folks. Ghostly activity forces a family to flee their home. Lauren Roth started renting a house in November of last year with her husband, Stephen, and 2 children, Arabella and Caleb. However, the aesthetics practitioner started noticing strange goings on in her house, and it apparently came out of nowhere. Bruises to lights randomly turning on and off within their home. And the family's breaking point really came at the end of June when they fled their Middlesbrough property after Lauren's son woke up in the middle of the night, absolutely terrified and screaming. Okay. Is everything okay behind the scenes here? It sounds like somebody's taken like a sledgehammer to your wall. Is that okay? Is everybody all right? Okay.
I'm good.
Good. Just keep getting those flies, old man. The 30-year-old said the traumatizing ordeal forced her to call upon paranormal investigators and even a priest to find out what was really happening. Lauren explained everything was all right until the back end of December. My son started sleepwalking. Weird stuff began happening. I believe in all supernatural stuff anyway, so I knew something wasn't right. It's got to the point where my son was talking to somebody. They used to sleep all night with no problems at all, but things were getting moved around the house, and we'd seen something during the night. My son would wake up, and he'd stand at the top of the stairs, just staring. That's terrifying. If your kid sleepwalks and he's at the top of stairs, I don't know about you guys. That's creepy.
That's not good.
One night I had a nightmare, and I woke him up so he could come to the bathroom with me. When I got up to go to the toilet, I stepped my foot across onto the floor, and the light turned on by itself. Other supernatural happenings that occurred while living in the house, which Lauren believes to be around 60 years old, included her son telling her that there was someone in his bedroom, and her daughter saying she saw a cat and waking up with scratch marks all over her body. Lauren said she would get unexplained bruises on her legs out of nowhere while at the house, but that the final straw was when a number of creepy incidents occurred here near the end of June of this year. On Saturday, Lauren said she suddenly felt like someone shoved something down the back of her throat. She also said that she had a few arguments with husband Stephen, age 24, and they both felt extremely frustrated. She said, we were just chilling out, and it got to 8 p.m., and I put Caleb to bed. We were sat in the garden, then I heard him screaming, and I didn't dare go in. I could hear him rather saying, get off me, leave me alone. So wait a minute. Mom hears him screaming, get off me, leave me alone, but she dare not go in?
Oh, no, that's disturbing.
The deuce?
Thanks,
Lauren's
Mom.
brother was over at the time, and in a bid not to scare him, she said, he's just having a nightmare. Lauren added, as soon as I said that, the bathroom lights turned on by themselves. That night at 2 a.m., we left the home and went to my mom's in a taxi. The family eventually found a new home after initially buying a caravan and living in it on the next door neighbor's driveway. So that's what they were relegated to do, is live next door. They tried salt around the perimeters of their house. I think You don't put it on the inside though, because then that kind of locks them in the room or in the hallway.
Weird. That's weird.
Yeah, you want to put that around the outside, the perimeter. She said, when we came back to the house and went into the kitchen, the freezer had been left wide open. I was sat in the bathroom and the paranormal team were asking questions saying, was that you who left the fridge open that day? And then the bathroom light turned itself off. She said, all right, if you want us to leave this property now, just turn the light on. And it immediately turned back on, she said. The investigators have a drink. Also set up cameras around the house, one of which was placed in the back bedroom where hair stands up on end when she enters. She explained, when she'd set the cameras up, we all walked out of the room to go downstairs to leave the property. When I walk out of a room, a few minutes later, someone turns the camera on to face the window. Lauren said, since the family moved, everything has stopped. And Caleb, thankfully, no longer sleepwalks. She added, I believe in it to a point. You see it in movies, but you don't think it's going to ever happen to you. We've literally had to get up and move. We had no other choice. I'd say it was very traumatizing. My son is still wary. He daren't, gentlemen. He daren't still go upstairs because he thinks that something is still there. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. And especially he's 16 and she takes him to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That's weird.
No, he's 6. He's 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was confused about that.
Yeah. The father's 24. If the kid was 16,
that wouldn't work.
Do the math. You might have to kick a pair of shoes up.
Yeah.
Things seem a little bit.
That's why
off.
Things get confused,
Yeah. Hey, Eric.
Stories.
Yeah.
I hear Ghostbusters are in the news.
What a great movie. One of the earliest memories I have of the paranormal, right, is that movie. And so I didn't know this, but Ghostbusters was inspired by these real-life paranormal investigators. It might be hard to find a more universally loved comedy from the 1980s than the Ghostbusters, boasting a unique blend of slapstick thrills, eerie chills, groundbreaking special effects, and almost wall-to-wall action. Ghostbusters went on to become not only the most reviewed and best reviewed movies of the year, but also the second highest grossing film of 1984. What do we think number one was?
1984.
Ghost.
Was that Top Gun's year?
It might have been.
Yeah, somebody looked that up. And as hard as it might be to believe, Aykroyd was inspired to pen Ghostbusters in part after hearing stories from real-life paranormal investigators. You heard that right, people. Ghostbusters is partially inspired by true stories from paranormal researchers. In an even more surprising twist of fate, the stories that planted the seeds for the iconic comedy and Dan.
Have a drink.
Wow.
Yeah, I got through 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, nicely done, though.
You're welcome. And Dan Aykroyd's head came largely from his own family lore. The legendary comedian was promoting the book A History of Ghosts, the true story of seances, mediums, ghosts, and Ghostbusters, alongside his father, Peter Aykroyd, who co-wrote it with Angela Narth. Aykroyd, meanwhile, wrote the foreword. And yes, the jumping off point for the book is the Aykroyd family's own history with paranormal investigation, using Samuel Aykroyd, Dan's great-grandfather, his seance journals as one of its sources. Though the current generation of Aykroyds doesn't actively take part in such investigations, Dan Aykroyd makes it clear that he's still very much a believer and that belief in the supernatural was indeed a part of his upbringing, claiming the whole family was sort of steeped in this kind of just accepted fact that spirits do indeed exist. According to Aykroyd, that belief helped inspire early drafts of his paranormal blockbuster. So that, combined with an article in the ASPR journal about quantum physics and parapsychology and my love of old ghost movies, sort of married together to produce the first draft of Ghostbusters. And that, my friends, makes Ghostbusters one of the least likely...
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters?
I tried to go right through that.
Wow, some Ghostbusters.
I'm
already
early on Fridays.
Dude, we're 2 stories into it and I'm through with my moose head.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that makes Ghostbusters one of the least likely, based on true events, hits of this or any era. Now, I think you actually had the opportunity to interview Dan Aykroyd a few years back, didn't you, Dave?
Well, in 2006, when we launched Darkness Radio, Dan Aykroyd was pimping a new DVD that he had out, and it was called Dan Aykroyd Unplugged, on UFOs, and he came out and talked about UFOs and his interest in it and his own experiences. And then when his father came out with the book, Dan and his father joined us, and we did an hour-long interview with the two of them, and that was fascinating. And it was a great time because the first time, Dan Aykroyd, you could tell he was tired of answering Coneheads, John Belushi, and Ghostbusters stories.
Right.
So he like powered over me. You listen to that interview, I think I get 4 questions out in an hour. He just had a lot of stories. Once he knew that I knew and I respected the genre, when I had him and his father on, we had a great conversation. It was really, really awesome. And I'm so thankful that I got a chance to do that before his father passed away.
And he's got that really cool, was it the crystal skull vodka, right?
Yes, crystal. Yeah. I should have put that in my V8. I could have had a crystal skull.
Reverse. I love it. So
yeah.
Great story about Ghostbusters.
We're gonna be joined by a few special guests in a few minutes to talk to you about a really cool upcoming event that is helping veterans and helping wounded warriors in Pennsylvania. We'll talk about that in just a few seconds. But Greg's going to take us to Norfolk, where he's got a story to share. Yeah,
I do.
That's the story.
And the crazy part is you actually took me to Norfolk.
I did.
That's a euphemism, right?
Yes.
Oh, man.
That's what the kids call it nowadays. I took him to Norfolk. Yeah.
All right. So Norfolk ghost stories. The Norfolk village haunted by screaming ghosts roaming the salt marshes. We didn't go to the salt marshes, but we did go all over Norfolk and look at all of the buildings. And it was very, very interesting the way that they do stuff. Yeah. Anyway. So, hey, Dave. And so the spirit has been described as the screaming cockler. Yeah.
Hey, come on, Greg.
I knew this story.
Cockle shells. Come on. Y'all know what cockle shells are. So
look at that. You call them and like Bloody Mary, they appear. Yeah.
Along the Norfolk coast lies a village of Stifky. Go ahead and do that one too. Stifky. Yeah. Okay.
Stifky and the screaming cockler. That sounds like an adult movie right there.
Yeah. This sounds like a 7th grade, conversation here. All right. So in Stifky, which is famous for the salt marshes as well as for its Stooky Blues cocklers. Yeah. Stooky Blues. And I actually pronounced that correctly. The village might seem like your typical seaside place, but it has a very spooky backstory that would give anyone chills. Okay. In the 18th century, the cockles along the marshes were gathered by women and hauled back in large sacks to the village. In an exhausting and dangerous job, it was a race against the tides. The story goes that one particular woman fell foul of the tricky tides, and it's her ghost that is said to haunt the marshes to this very day. At the end of the day, the women made their way back to Stifky after seeing the tides turn and poor weather coming. That was oh man, there we go. Apart. I can't say apart. All right. So that was apart from a young girl named
Really, that's
Nancy.
the word that tripped you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Apart. Yeah. That was apart from a young girl named Nancy, whose sack was only half full, and she continued looking for the cockles. Yeah. By the time Nancy noticed how much trouble she was in, it was too late. The thick fog had developed. Made it impossible for her to navigate back to safety. And when she tried to shout for help, the other cocklers were unable to see or help her.
Dave, I just want to thank you right now for not giving me this story.
I know. It was a temptation.
Wow. All right. Anyway, the Stifky fisherman, however, heard Nancy screaming.
I've been called a lot of things.
But
Stevie Nicks was yelling to her?
What? Oh, really? No. But they could not launch their fishing boats as the tide was too low. Other men with smaller boats sailed out to rescue her, but at this point, she was swearing at the fog and at the tide and even against God himself. Sadly.
Stupid fog, stupid tide. That's the actual audio from that. I don't know if you'd ever heard that before. I was able to get it.
Yeah. Sadly. Sadly, Nancy
You say sadly, but you're laughing. I really don't feel like this is a problem for you.
Yeah, it's a duality of man there.
It is. Yeah.
Sadly, Nancy wasn't found in time and she drowned. Her body.
Yes.
All right, everybody have a drink. Here you go.
Yeah.
Appreciate
go on. Yeah, he's a giggler.
That's helping me. That's helping me a lot.
He's a cocker.
Jesus.
Yep.
Her body was discovered the next day, her eyes glaring at the injustice and what happened to her, and still holding the knife she used to collect the cockles. Yeah. She was buried in a local graveyard, but her ghost is said to still haunt the Black Knot sandbank. Her screams are said to warn people against the danger and not going too far out in the mud flats. Yeah,
the cocklers don't want you going too far out in the nut flats. That's for sure.
Not with that sack, anyways.
Man, have a drink, Greg. The nut flats.
Hence named the Screaming Cockler.
Yeah. The Screaming Cockler.
That hurt, man. That
sounds like a really weird superhero that just didn't make it in the 1950s. The Screaming Cockler. All right. Let's take a quick break here and introduce my friends.
Please.
They are here. Pamela and Stephen Barry are joining us from the Gettysburg Battle Bash. And this is coming up in a few weeks. Thank you both for joining us tonight.
Please.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So let our audience know what the Battle Bash is. This isn't a bunch of people dressed up as reenactors going out on a drinking bender and shooting each other, is it?
No. So
well, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Well, I have cockles, so
Hey,
Greg will be there.
Don't worry. I know two guys that will be there. Go ahead.
Wow.
So this year, our event is August 19th, 20th, and 21st. So we benefit Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors. So this is their logo. And
Very cool.
Heroes for Hire, which is critically ill children. So we had this idea that these critically ill children can empower our soldiers and our soldiers can empower these kids. And I know it sounds a little odd, but when you get their energies together, it's amazing. So we call it our weekend of hope and healing. So we have vendors, we have bands. It's $20 to get in. You get a wristband, and that's for the entire week. Weekend. I keep saying week. I'm so sorry.
No, you can wear it for the rest of the week, Steve. It's okay. Yeah.
So we're at the Bash. The Bash is located at the Wyndham 95 Presidential Circle. It's just a weekend of hope and healing.
So that's that $20, that money is what you use to raise for the Wounded Warriors and for Heroes for Hire?
Absolutely, yes. Last year we raised $10,500. So we're aiming for at least $10,501.
Excellent. Well, I know Eric Folsom would like to donate that one to get you started.
All right.
So you only need a few more. But we're also doing a charity auction while we're there.
Yes,
We are.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some cool items that'll be brought. I'm gonna keep it under the lid, but I'm gonna bring a couple of cool personal items to this event to auction off. I'm gonna see if Eric wants to give me his Paul McCartney autographed guitar. Yeah, what do you think, Eric? No, not gonna happen.
We're breaking up, Dave. I'll need to get back to you on that one.
But there's a lot of great guests that are going to be there. Again, I don't want to toot my own horn, but Shane Pittman and myself will be there on hand at the Gettysburg Battle Bash. You've got a lot of other paranormal people and a lot of great guests all the way around. Do you want to list off some of the other people that we can expect to see there?
Yes, I'm just pulling up my list right now because I don't want to. I'm just going to say a few of them because I know that that I will forget some.
Sure.
We've got, you read them. I don't have my glasses on. I'm so sorry. Well, we've
What
got
a
some
drag
great
it is
authors.
getting old. Yeah.
Dave Schrader.
We have
Do you know
Dave
Dave
Schrader.
Schrader?
That guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Chris DeChavary is going to be there. Daryl Morrison's going to be there.
Mustafa. Brandon.
Santiago from Walking Dead will be there.
Brandon Alves.
Mike King.
Scott Porter.
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
We got two wrestlers. We got the Samoan and we have Gene Stinsky.
We've got April from Holzer Files.
Nice.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
the
Melanie?
Psychic April. Yeah.
Yes. We've got one of the Gypsy sisters, Melly Stanley.
And you
We've
guys
got
have
Eric
got
Knapp and
vendors and
Stephanie.
food. You guys have vendors, you have food, you've got music. It is a full weekend to come on out, just have a great time. This is my first time, and I just want people to know that all of the celebrities and guests are donating their time to be there. We don't get paid to do this. We are there to support the wounded veterans and the Heroes for Hire program. So come on out, spend some time with us, have some fun. We'll be doing autograph signings, pictures. I'm going to be giving away free hugs and selfies all weekend. And Steve, this time, let other people get them. Okay, you get one a day, man.
I'm glad you said that, Dave, because it is true. These guys are donating your time and stuff like that. And I said that to a lot of celebrities out there. A soldier goes out and fights for you so you can do your show and you can stay free. And just to give 2 days of your time.
It's an amazing gift.
It's an amazing gift to them. It's sort of like paying it forward. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you doing that for us. I really do.
My pleasure. And Pam and Steve, you guys get the luxury of getting to hang out with me on the night of the premiere of my brand new show, The Ghost of Devil's Perch, which begins August 21st. So we'll be hanging out and we're going to watch that together, right? We all
absolutely
have a couple of drinks.
There it is.
Yeah, look at that. Ghost of Crystal Skull vodka. Look at that. I'll bring the V8. I like it. This is all coming full circle. And I want to just make sure that aside from that Gettysburg Battle Bash, you can go to Darkness Events, find it. Just head out to Gettysburg. Where should they go? How do they pay when they get to the big town of Gettysburg?
So it's 95 Presidential Circle, and you pay at the door, because if we used a third party Ticketron or whatever, they take a percentage out. So I actually have my accountant. She's at the table taking the tickets and doing my books right there. So it's amazing.
Excellent.
Yes.
Great. But I want people to also know you guys own an awesome haunted location and you make it available for paranormal investigators. Tell them about it and how they can get in and investigate with you.
Sure. So it's the historic 1912 Hoover House. We're on the retreat end of the Battle of Gettysburg. The Confederate Army actually held Waynesboro for 15 days. Our bed and breakfast was a former nursing care facility. And it's just amazing. It's 8,000 square feet. The basement was a speakeasy, and there's just different energies all through the house, just waiting for them to be discovered.
And you can go stay in the Holzer Suite.
Holzer Suite.
And I've slept in the Holzer Suite, got crazy EVP in the Holzer Suite. You guys have a great place, great haunting. What's the website? How can they find you and book to come on out and do an investigation?
www.historic 1912 Hoover House. It also has a Facebook page, and people just actually call 717-521-7465. Actually, I know I'm crazy. That's my cell phone number, but we also own a paranormal equipment store. And if a paranormal investigator needs any one of us at 2:00 in the morning, we're available.
Excellent. Well, we've got links for that on today's program guide, so they can find you. Thank you for the work you guys are doing to help wounded warriors and critically ill children.
Thank you for letting us come in and interrupt. Yes.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you. They were great. I had a chance to go out there earlier this year, do an investigation. They had a fun event there. I hope I get to return. Eric, you came out and visited.
I was going to say, that's where I came out and saw you. Yeah. It's a great place.
Yeah, very, very cool. Let's do this. We don't have a commercial to play for the Bigfoot ParaCon anymore, guys. It's gone, but I do have this.
Get ready for an event unlike any other. Inside one of the most haunted locations in the country, Bobby Mackays. August 13th, 2022. Join Nick Groff, Chad Lindberg, Johnny Hauser, and Josh Hurd for a live G-Crew stage event hosted by Dave Schrader, with a special gallery reading from Tessa Del Zoppo Groff and live music by Bobby Mackey himself. This will be a night you won't forget.
And you can get information and tickets at darknessevents.com. You've seen Bobby Mackey's on Ghost Adventures, Paranormal Lockdown, and many other programs. This is your chance to go out and be a part of history. Get to listen to Bobby Mackey perform and see an amazing show. We're going to have a lot of good times. The entire G Crew cast is going to be there. I'm going to be there. So come on out. That's next weekend. This weekend, I'm doing the Hell in the Cell event with Chris Fleming and Shane Pittman, and we'll report back to you next week on the cool activity that we had take place there. And there's one more thing coming up I want to make sure you guys are aware of coming up this February.
Hey, it's Chris Jericho here, just reminding you about the 4-leaf clover. Chris Jericho's rock and wrestling Rager at Sea, the 4th voyage, leaving February 2nd from Miami to Great Stirrup Key, our very own private island. This is going to be the biggest and best Jericho cruise ever, with the biggest lineup, the most fun. I guarantee it. Come join us for the vacation and the party of a lifetime. ChrisJerichoCruise.com. Cabin's still available. I want to see you there.
I will be there for the 4-leaf clover event. This will be my 4th Jericho cruise, and I'm working on bringing the Paranormal 60 News crew so we can do a live show and maybe even a bourbon and scotch tasting aboard the ship. So if you'd like more information, make sure that you go check out ChrisJerichoCruise.com. It is a weekend of music, mayhem, wrestling, and the paranormal, and it's going to be a blast. So come on out and check that out. And later on in February, you can join me. That's right, Schraders of the Lost Temples and Tombs. I'm going to be out in Egypt for the 100th anniversary of the discovery of King Tut's tomb. We get to investigate not one, but 2 of the pyramids, and we get to do we get to do a seance inside Howard Carter's home for the anniversary. So it's going to be a great time. Tickets are on sale, and it's very exciting. I just found out about this today. Not only can you get your tickets on sale there, but she's also now found a way for you to do it so that you can actually finance the trip and not have to pay all of it up front. You could do little trickle throughs for like up to a year, 18 months, something like that. So if you want to join us, this is going to be amazing, and we are guaranteed safety. Tracy Ash will be our leader there. She is a bigwig in the metaphysical and Egyptologist circles, so she knows all the people. We are going to be protected, safe, and have a blast. I hope you will consider coming on out to see me. All right, let's get to it. Mr. Folsom, we've got a music story, I guess. You've got an interesting little reincarnation tale to share with us.
He does.
We do indeed. You know, that's I love when we find these stories about music and its connection to the paranormal. So we have a Long Island mom who is convinced her daughter has a past life connection to Hank Williams Sr. There he is, one of the early greats of country music. The interesting thing about reincarnation and past life regressions is that every so often people seem to be convinced that in their past lives they were someone famous. Cleopatra, Shakespeare, Alexander the Great. Heck, God bless good old General Patton, who only claimed to have been a Roman legionnaire and not Julius Caesar himself.
Yeah.
So this little girl on Long Island has strong feelings about her own reincarnation, and such a detailed story that she sent her mother digging and coming up with a fascinating theory. The 8-year-old has been saying for 5 years now, so she started this when she was 3 years old, that she's the reincarnation of someone from country music royalty. She claims her papa, as she calls him, named Hank, was a famous singer, friends with Elvis, kind of et cetera down those lines. Once when she heard Hank Williams Sr. singing, she went white and claimed that was her vaunted papa that she talks about. Country music fans quickly showed up to explain to her mother that the timelines don't quite line up. Hank Williams Sr., though a huge influence on Elvis, died the year before Elvis recorded his first song. And though, of course, it's possible that Williams had children the public doesn't know about, does that actually happen?
Sometimes.
His 2 kids, his 2 recognized kids, Hank Jr. and Jet, are both still alive. Dave, do you have any video on this?
I do have some video on this, and this is interesting. So yeah, you've got the little twist of Hank Williams Jr. or Hank Williams Sr. having 2 children, both still alive. But check this out.
All right, so when my daughter was about 3.5, 4, she started telling us things and telling us that she used to have a different Papa Hank, and he died. she used to have to live with her neighbors, and she was like giving us all these weird details and stuff, right? So she started giving us more and more details where I'm searching things up. And I'm a Long Island girl. I mean, I love country music and stuff like that, but I did not know who Hank Williams was. That might sound stupid, I don't know. She was telling me that her Papa Hank was good friends with Elvis, and she would tell us all these details and stuff, right? So all my friends and I were like Googling, what does this mean? What is this? What is that? One day, I'm like, okay, I gotta put on some Hank Williams music, Senior. So I put on a Hank Williams song in the kitchen. She was all the way on the other side of the house. I go and I get her, bring her into the kitchen, white as a ghost. She says, "That's my Papa singing."
That's my Papa singing. So that's an interesting twist. But again, things don't line up. Now, maybe Hank Sr.'s friends with Elvis in heaven, and that's why he's talking about this. But what's the little twist at the end of the story?
Well, first off, I'd just like to say, if you happen to be filming any TikToks, please do it when there's not a lawnmower purring in the background. I mean, that was annoying. Wow. So, to your point, the story has another twist. And then any of you that know Hank Williams may know this. Papa can be a term used for a grandfather, and the girl says that the last thing she remembers before this lifetime began was being in a car. Hank Williams Jr. had a daughter who died in 2020. There she is, in a car crash. This, of course, could be well after the birth of this little girl, but what are laws of time and space to the travels of a celestial soul? The mother has no idea where her daughter is getting this information, but she's not done looking either, she says.
That's bizarre.
That is
3 years old. Yeah,
well, and here's the thing. What if she's not necessarily the reincarnation, but what if she's resonating at the same level as the daughter that passed away? So she thinks it was her life, but she's really kind of she's picking up all that story. She might be mediumistic herself, picking up this daughter's story. It's fascinating. I wonder, I don't know how religious a family they are still, but I would think that maybe there's some religious thoughts and concepts behind this. It'd be interesting to see what Bo Cephas, Hank Jr., had to say about this.
Nobody has asked him.
No. Hey, guys.
I thought you were going to have a video. So I was ready.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to juggle a few things at once here because we have got a cool little moment, and I know this has become very popular for Eric.
It's time now for ParaTunes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And this song comes into us from the band Insane, and the song is called Zombies.
Such a nightmare. Time's up inside up past the bleeds into this unrelenting nowhere. Rise up, line up. Resist this, regret this, forget this, accept this. This virus inside us, the violence of silence is eating your bleeding, increasing, repeating. No use pretending, the ending's beginning. This unforgiving wasteland. Rise up, eyes up, started to sink into the sea of human quicksand. Time's up, line up. Forgotten intentions, abandoned decisions, precision, incision, a darker religion, distorting our vision, no longer forgiven. We could not prevent this deadly existence.
That was actually sent to me by Lee Waller, the drummer for Insane. I thought it was a great song. Glad that we had a chance to share it. I've got a link up to their Facebook page, only you will be saddened to find out that they broke up as of June of this year.
Oh no.
But it's a great PSA though.
Yeah.
Beware
and
Attack of the
song.
Zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's easy to learn.
Yeah.
Very easy to learn on that song. I like it. A lot of fun. All right. Speaking of a lot of fun, man, one of the best superhero movies to come out over the last few years was the Shazam movie, right? Captain Marvel, starring Zachary Levi. And you've got a story, Gregory, about Zachary Levi, don't you?
I do have one. Zachary Levi learns ancestor narrowly escaped death in witch trial. Yeah, that's right. Zachary Levi's search for family history with the NBC genealogy documentary series. Do you know?
No. Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Let me help you out. Who do you think you are? Yeah. Everybody's
who do you think you are? Yeah. Led to some startling results for the Shazam star, right?
For the what?
Shazam star.
Shazam.
No.
Yeah. Shazam. Have a drink.
God, I've been up since 4.
Look at how surprised Zachary Levi is at the way you say Shazam. Look at that.
What? All right, so who do you think you are led some startling results for the Shazam star. How's that? Shazam.
That's good. You got it now. Yeah.
On Sunday, Levi was taken aback by the news that his parental 10 times great-grandmother, Elizabeth Lawson, was accused of being a witch in the year 1692, the same year as the Salem witch trials. Standing near a pond where Clausen was ducked in, a heartbroken Levi shared, "To find out that my 10 times great-grandmother was essentially accused of being a witch is just so mind-blowing and also like troubling and sad and surreal. It's always difficult to try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. But 1692, my 10 times great-grandmother gets thrown into a pond with her hands and feet bound into one another. She knows that the gravity of the situation. She understands what happens to somebody accused of being accused and being convicted of being a witch. I mean, that's death, he says. I would imagine she was scared and angry and confused. I can imagine being in that spot, being surrounded by a bunch of people you thought were your friends. After a little more digging, Levi and Ann Little, professor of history at Colorado State University, discovered a petition written by Clawson's husband, Stephen Clawson, and signed by 76 people defending Clawson against the accusations of witchcraft. Little explained. The community, in supporting Elizabeth Clawson, was undertaking something of a risk because of the fear of guilt by association to defend an accused witch. And Stephen certainly was taking a risk in soliciting support for his wife. We've seen both England and New England whereby husbands get accused of witchcraft when trying to defend their wives from accusations of witchcraft. So he did something that was very unusual and very brave. Though Clawson lived in Fairfield, Connecticut, not in Salem, Massachusetts, Levi's ancestor was still sent to trial, where she could have been executed if found guilty. During the witch trials, women who were accused of witchcraft were ducked, bound hand and foot, and put into the water in a way that would determine whether the suspect was a witch or not. It was believed that a pure, good-hearted Christian would sink. So when she floated, they thought that she was a witch. Fortunately, Elizabeth Clawson wasn't convicted and was set free. Who Do You Think You Are airs Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine finding out one of your family members is a witch or at least was, tried for being a witch in those times.
I'm pretty sure most people that were accused of being witches met their fate at that point. It's pretty sad.
Well, Eric, you were happy that I didn't give you the Cockler stories. Yeah,
that's correct.
You're going to be thankful I didn't give you this one. This is an interesting tale. Comanches renamed a medicine man when his magical prediction failed during combat. The year was 1874. The Comanche tribe was fighting for its very survival. Though decades past the height of their power on the Great Plains, the Comanches were not going down without a fight. They were long the dominant tribe of the plains and were known to aggressively resist Mexican or American expansion into their homeland. The U.S. Army was trying to expel not just the Comanche, but also the Kiowa, the Cheyenne, and the Arapaho nations out of the southern Great Plains, forcing them to resettle inside the Indian Territory in what is today known as Oklahoma. The tribes were in violation of the 1867 Medicine Lodge Treaty, which called for them to stop their aggression against settlers moving west in exchange for housing, agricultural training, and supplies. So for a time, the treaty worked, but settlers soon began thinning out buffalo herds to sell the hides, threatening the tribe's way of life. Now, Comanches stood up to fight the settlers and the U.S. government in what would become known as the Red River War. Their leader, Kiwani Tasabutu, Comanche for White Eagle, was a Comanche medicine man who preached that a great war between the natives and the white men who were killing the buffalo was unavoidable. Now, Kiwani claimed that he had ascended to the skies, flew above the clouds, and spoke with great spirit. He told his fellow tribesmen that the Great Spirit had given him incredible powers that would help revive their once great people and rid them of the white man forever. He claimed he could cure the sick, raise the dead, and control the weather. More importantly, he claimed he could stop the white man's bullets. How about that? Of course, the bullets were the biggest threat to them at that time. And let's see where it jumps into. Sorry. It says he would make the Comanche warriors immune to gunshots. When he correctly predicted both a drought and astronomical events, the people of his tribe believed he was imbued with the powers that he claimed, and they were ready to go to war with the U.S. An overwhelming number of warriors rallied to the cause, prepared to go to war with the bulletproof powers provided by White Eagle. The Kiowa people rallied alongside their Comanche neighbors and prepared for their own attacks. Their first attack came in the Texas Panhandle at a 28-man strong settlement called Adobe Walls. The complex was just a group of buildings designed to handle the needs of local buffalo hunters and should have been an easy target for bulletproof Comanche warriors. The tiny outpost was a threat to their existence. Just before dawn on June 27, 1874, 700 native warriors arrived at Adobe Walls and charged the settlement, believing they were impervious to the white man's weapons and fighting alongside the Great Spirit in a mission to reclaim their homeland. This is, if you're watching, this is actually an artist's depiction of the war and what was taking place at the time. Unfortunately, the natives' surprise raid was spoiled by the collapse of the building roof inside the settlement. Earlier in the morning, a large crack erupted from one of the buildings, awakening most of its inhabitants. When they realized it was a roof caving in, many of the men awoke to help. So when the natives arrived to the area, the target white men were awake and somehow ready to move. The Comanche nearly won. They rode into the encampment and operated at such close quarters that the buffalo hunters' rifles were nearly useless. For days, they harried the hunters, killing 4 of them. As the Comanche surveyed the battlefield, legendary frontiersman Billy Dixon, one of only 8 civilians to receive a Medal of Honor, took aim at one of the leaders atop his horse from an estimated 1,500 yards with a buffalo hunting rifle. In an admittedly lucky shot, his target went down. The Comanche left the battlefield that day. Because of his failed visions and leadership, White Eagle's name was changed.
Uh-oh.
God.
Uh-oh.
This is true. This is true. This is not me. He received a new name for failing his tribe from the Comanche people. He became known as Isatai, or Coyote Vagina.
Oh, man.
Yes, that is the true tale. So not all predictions come true, gentlemen. And when you're good and you get 2 out of 3, ain't bad, according to Meatloaf, right?
Okay.
But when you end up with the nickname Coyote Vagina,
it's probably hard to find a mate at that point.
Yeah, White Eagle, you're in like
Yeah,
Lynn,
yeah.
right? And the Polish people are going to love you eventually, right? That's like all the restaurants were the White Eagle in Chicago. Any of the good Polish restaurants had ties to the White Eagle. But yeah, Coyote Vagina. That's
I thought this was a family show.
It is. I'm using the medical term for it,
Correct.
and it is a historical story, Greg. I'm not
Well, they
throwing
don't
it around.
teach that in 5th grade.
Well, they should, because you would have remembered it much better. You
seventh
live
grade,
right there.
yeah, 7th grade would have been that would have been a common name for a lot of my friends.
Yeah, I bet. Eric,
yes,
Nessie's back on our radar. What have you got for us?
Here we go.
We've had a lot of Nessie stories recently.
Yeah,
so there is a hunter, a Loch Ness monster hunter, who vows to find proof. It's a great picture here. When was that from?
I don't know. That was just part of the article. Just move on.
Okay. First allegedly spotted in 1933. There's no doubt that the long-necked sea creature said to inhabit an otherwise nondescript lake in Scotland is one of the most enduring urgin lebens.
Oh, here we go.
Urgin lebens.
Wait a minute. That sounds gubernatorial to me. Gooby National.
Goober National. Goober National.
Goober National. That's right up there with the. What was the words you used, Eric?
That I used or he used?
Yes. No.
Just
what did you call urban legend?
Urgin lebens.
Urgin lebens. Yeah.
I took the middle of each word and just flipped it with the other word.
I gotcha. Talking ass backwards. I gotcha.
That's the way. Exactly. So
Urgin lebens.
Listen, we're going to try to keep this to close to 90 minutes tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Endurance is exactly what monster hunter Steve Feltham, all the above, Feltham, has displayed in his hunt for the creature. Feltham has been recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as having embarked on the longest continuous stretch of searching for the creature long dubbed the Loch Ness Monster, but also affectionately termed Nessie in its homeland. Feltham made the banks of Loch Ness his home in June of 1991 and has spent the last 31 years looking for irrefutable proof of Nessie's existence. That's my life work. I need to prove to myself it's real. This is something I need to get closure on, Feltham told the Daily Record of his unrelenting hunt for evidence, a search that has made him almost as much a part of the lore as the creature itself. A popular misconception is that my life here is in any way similar to that of a hermit. This could not be further from the truth, he said. Many tourists seek him out in his converted mobile library turned home near the lake. I meet and speak to hundreds of I'm glad it's my last story.
People?
Hundreds of liters of scotch.
Mm-hmm.
I meet and speak to hundreds
Earl
of
and
people
Lebens.
every day. Urgent.
Urgent
Especially in
Lebens.
the summer months. So yes, he's not a hermit. He's got to keep looking. He's been there 31 years. It's an urgent Lebend.
It definitely is an urgent Lebend. I think we should call. Let's make a new show that happens only on Saturdays. Urgent Lebens with
UrgentLebens.com.
Yeah, Urgent Lebens with Chachi. I like it. All right. Well, not only has Nessie been in the news a lot, but so has Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Sasquatch. That's right.
Speaking of Bigfoot, Greg Lawson, you're up.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Bigfoot spotted on farm as terrified manager quits job after chickens go missing. Let me read that again. Bigfoot spotted on farm as terrified manager quits job and chickens go missing. That's a great,
that's
headline.
clickbait right there.
Yeah,
I know,
that's
right?
Good clickbait.
All right, so
for me,
a mysterious figure has been pictured on a farm where workers fear Bigfoot may be attacking animals. The snap was taken by a farm hand and shared on a Facebook group, Bigfoot Believers, by farm owner Donnie Hicks. He explained that he's been in a flurry of Bigfoot reports in Tennessee. What?
Nothing.
Okay. I thought I heard something. Sorry. So he explained that there have been a flurry of Bigfoot reports in Tennessee, U.S., where the farm is, as well as mysterious goings on. Donnie wrote, hey, folks, I am new here, but something is going on in the middle of Tennessee with several alleged and rumored sightings of Bigfoot. Is this what it is or could be? It is not my photo, but one from a farmhand that's sent to me. Since all of the chickens are missing, I don't know what to do or think here. And that's what I was thinking. You know what? Yeah, exactly. I almost went up. I got a KFC within a mile of my house, and I almost went over there, and I was going to enjoy a little bit of KFC while I was reading this. Yeah. So he added comments. I truly don't know, but am remounting my game cameras in a new pasture location. My farm manager is completely freaked by the El Diablo Yeti, his words. Donnie went on to say that another commitment that the manager told him, I can no longer work on your farm. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine the flurry or the God.
The urgent Lebens.
I swear, people, I'm going to practice a lot harder. I'm going to drink a lot less. And I'm going to get
Nobody
some
wants
sleep.
to hear that.
I'm going to get some sleep. All right.
Boring.
So the image is blurry, but appears to show what looks like a figure standing behind the fence in one of Donnie's fields. It's difficult to gauge how large the figure is, but it does seem taller than the fence in the image. Analyzing the picture, some said that the figure's arms seemed to be long enough to be the real thing. One shared a similar experience, writing, Bigfoot eats my chickens, as many as 12 a night, and they were up in a tree. Yeah, that's
chickens were up in a tree.
Yeah, well, chickers.
I could go for a bucket of fried chickers.
Chickens roost, man. It's like guineas. They roost up in a tree. They don't sleep on the ground.
Wow, we don't use that slang term around here.
Italians.
My God. Hey, guys, we're gonna do something kind of interesting tonight
in the show.
Well, yeah, and this is it.
It's time now for Upon Further Review.
All right, so this is an interesting version. I read an article this week that sent me back to check out a movie that I will admit the first time I watched it, I did not care for. Second, third viewings, I started to kind of grow into it, but it was M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's, I think, second movie, Signs.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm not a big fan. His first movie was great. You know,
Super.
The Sixth Sense. He played it down. He played it really well. An interesting dialogue. But there's a new theory that suggests that those aliens aren't aliens in M. Night Shyamalan's Signs movie. All right. This is going to take a little bit of thinking, folks. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you this tale. Now, aside from the genuine thrills and chills that could come from an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong film, the director is also known for subverting expectations by taking classic tropes and twisting them. A great example of this was the film Signs, his version of an alien invasion film. But where most of Shyamalan's films end with an unexpected twist, Signs is a revolutionary film, mainly played straightforwardly. But one theory may have reinterpreted the film's main message and introduced a twist that could have been the truth all along. Now, guys, if I asked you to Eric, give me just a quick bullet bite of what was the movie Signs about. Eric, thank you. Greg, give it to me.
It was great. I really enjoyed it.
That's not what it was about.
Yeah, you guys are well prepared. So here's
you should have told us. I would have gone and watched it.
These crop circles. I thought you'd already seen it. So these, I didn't want to front load you because after I tell you this, I want you to go back and watch it when we finish this.
All right.
Crop circles start appearing. They start putting two and two together. These aliens start making their way around, and like War of the Worlds, there is a fallibility to these aliens, and that's kind of the crux of it, right? But this family is kind of caught in the middle of this alien invasion, and things are very strange. Now you've got Mel Gibson, who's the patriarch of the family, his brother played by Joaquin Phoenix, who is there to help him after the death of Mel Gibson's wife due to a drunk driver. And then he's raising two children, one of which is Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kieran Culkin, and he deals with severe anxiety and asthma, right? The daughter, I think, is Abigail Breslin. Anyway, the whole concept of this movie is how do they see their way through this? Watching for signs, synchronicities, things like that. So this is where the rest of this article really, really gets into my head. So let's jump back in. Signs follows the Hess family, where a former priest, played by Mel Gibson, is now living the life of a farmer with his two kids and younger brother. It's explained that he lost his wife following his wife's tragic death during a car accident, but the unexplained soon appears in the film as he and his family survive an apparent alien invasion. But according to a theory by What Culture, outer space wasn't the origin of these antagonists. Instead, the aliens in question were actually demons sent to gather the souls of a family that had seemingly lost their way. Now, at first, the theory seemed far-fetched because the movie wasn't afraid to lean into the alien influences. However, by dissecting crucial aspects of the film, the explanation actually makes more sense than ever. So let's start with the Hess family, mainly the father, Graham, again, played by Mel Gibson. Each time he states that he no longer wants to be called father or recognized as a preacher, he encounters these strange alien occurrences. It's possible that each time he denounces his faith, the demons get more powerful and are one step closer to claiming his soul. The parallels are even more evident when the veterinarian who accidentally killed his wife neither fights nor succumbs to his demon. Instead, he locks it away and drives off, leaving Graham to face the mistakes of another person once again. Now, more natural explanations can also add to the theory's religious undertones. One of the biggest signs came from the invisible spacecraft that appeared in the film. Because the birds couldn't see them, they would hit them and fall from the sky, a sign of the apocalypse. Furthermore, these ships never make a physical appearance in the film. Instead, they appear as bright lights, perhaps the eyes of a demon in the sky, implying heaven is at war. Finally, even the crop circles play a role in the theory, as they represent the mark of the beast. And to make things even more chilling, there are never any spaceships shown in the movie, implying that they never existed in the first place. But perhaps the most believable piece of evidence from this theory that could prove the theory comes from the aliens and the Hess family leading up to the climactic final battle. For starters, there's daughter Bo, who is shown to have premonitions like her mother and set up half-full water glasses throughout the house. Because she smiled during her birth, they believe that the miracle smile made her more angelic and perhaps even blessed. And as a result, the water she drank also became blessed, making it a weakness to the aliens, the demons. Furthermore, the demons gained power from a lack of prayer, likely why they garnered the strength to attack during Hess's Last Supper, when the family didn't want to pray. Not to mention that even though the aliens had futuristic tech, they still used their own organic abilities to kidnap and steal souls rather than kill them. And their appearances were more demonic than they were alien in nature. So finally, as we get to the end here, the most interesting connection to the film's religious themes was how 3 Middle Eastern countries found a primitive way to fend off the alien threat. It was just like the 3 countries that birthed the 3 Abrahamic religions. Though it's a small moment at the film's end, it may carry the most weight in proving the theory correct. For now, there's no confirmation that the real threat of the film was demons, but for the 20th anniversary of Signs, it could be a fun thought experiment to go back and explore the movie from this new context. And that's exactly what I did. And I went back and watched it, and I watched the trailer. Now that I've explained it to you guys, let's watch the trailer, believing it to be more of a demonic infestation and everything that this article talked about. Check it out.
See, what you have to ask yourself is, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?
Do you have any books on extraterrestrials?
And Jerusalem as the
Same shows on every station.
Some people are probably thinking this is the end of the world. Do you think it could be?
Yes.
What you're about to see may disturb you.
Is it possible that there are no coincidences? There is no one watching out for us. We are all on our own.
"20 years ago, that movie came out. Now, looking at that trailer with what I just put into your head, it certainly puts a different light on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, you asked me a moment ago if I could surmise what the movie's about in one sentence. I think I can now. It's about
Now that I've explained it to you? Yeah.
It's pretty clear.
You know what, folks, you don't have to believe Eric and I. Greg, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's very interesting.
He is a man of great insight and few words.
I'm sitting here, and when you played the trailer, I realized I have never seen this movie.
What?
I know. I've never seen it.
Check it out for yourself.
The Paranormal Detective.
maybe you believe that these are aliens. Eric and I believe that it is definitely the sign of the apocalypse, demons, but we're not alone in our thoughts. I asked another guy his opinion, and this is what he said.
Yes, Dave, you are absolutely correct.
See, Josh Gates is on our side, Eric.
Wow.
What
That
more
guy
can one
is
ask for?
always doing guest spots for you.
Yeah, well, we know
How does
we
he find
go
the
way
time?
back. He's, I don't want to brag, but we're buddies. We go way back.
That's
at
obvious.
least 10 years. Yeah. Well, that's it, guys. Believe it or not, we are already at the end of this run. It's been a pleasure, as always, to sit with you, to break this proverbial news bread. And we do miss the Colonel, but we wish him a very happy, healthy birthday and hope that he enjoyed this week off. We will be back with you again next week with more of the best in paranormal news. Guys, anything you want to add to this before we head off into the wild blue yonder at only about 75 minutes in tonight?
I would just like to reiterate that I knew all along that Signs was about demons.
Thank you very much. Hey, come check me out at the Gettysburg Battle Bash, August 19th through the 21st with Shane Pittman and a host of other amazing guests. You can get information at darknessevents.com, or hell, just head to Gettysburg for the weekend. It is going to be a true bash. We're going to have a great time, and we want to spend it with you. That's it for this week. We will be back with more of the best in paranormal next week, right here on the Paranormal 60 News.
Sir.
The Paranormal 60 News is a Words is Hard production in association with Urgin Lebens.